Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the real reason why Tommy Vercetti is not in Grand Theft Auto 5. Where is he now? Is he dead? And what happened after the events of Grand Theft Auto Vice City? So I once again just want to say thank you so much for the continued support, not only on the Nico Bellic video I did, but the CJ Carl Johnson video I did. Also, tremendous support from you guys, and I really appreciate it. And I love making videos like this because they are sort of a nice retro throwback for me, and I'm really excited about this one because Vice City not only was my first Grand Theft Auto game that I played, but it's also my favorite. I love the atmosphere, I love the city, fictional Miami, Florida being Vice City, and the protagonist as well was absolutely incredible, and that of course is Tommy Vercetti. So let's talk about the real reason why he isn't in Grand Theft Auto 5. So just like with CJ, unfortunately, Tommy took place in the 3D universe, which completely prevents him from appearing in Grand Theft Auto 5. I explained this a little bit more in depth in my CJ video, so I won't do necessarily the same here, but basically the 3D universe and the HD universe cannot mix in terms of characters appearing in one game versus another. So because Vice City and Tommy are in the 3D universe, it completely prevents him from appearing in Grand Theft Auto 5, which is the HD universe. So I'm once again not entirely too sure why Rockstar decided to do this, or why Rockstar have an issue with these various, I guess, universes blending, but for whatever reason there is, and that's the case. So it looks like for now and forever going forward, we won't ever see Tommy Vercetti appearing again, and that's particularly why he doesn't appear in Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, unlike Nico Bellic's voice actor, I looked into the actor who played Tommy Vercetti, and he doesn't seem to have any issues with Rockstar. They seem to be on good terms. I just did some various news searches, and there wasn't anything that came up regarding money or disagreements. So if they wanted him back, I'm sure he easily would have done something from them. But I think the real main reason here is just the fact that he's in the 3D universe and Grand Theft Auto 5 is in the HD universe. Now, let's talk about some other reasons, including where he is now. Is he dead? What happened to him after Vice City that might also indicate why he's not in Grand Theft Auto 5. So we know that Tommy was born, number one, in Liberty City, but also in the year 1951. So the events of Grand Theft Auto Vice City take place in 1986. So when that game is going on, Tommy is only 35 years old. But since we know Grand Theft Auto 5 takes place in 2013, that would make Tommy 62 years old. So if he were to make an appearance in Grand Theft Auto 5, he would be a pretty old man. He would be getting up there in age. So that right there could obviously be one of the reasons why he doesn't make an appearance, that he's just simply old and doesn't really have a place in Grand Theft Auto 5, especially with the events that occurred, which was all about heists and whatnot. So now let's talk about his possible life after 1986. So if you played the game, you'll know that Tommy Vercetti continued to run the criminal underworld of Vice City after the game's completion and after the year 1986. Now, during that time, Tommy's relationship with Ken Rosenberg, the lawyer of that game who picks you up from the very start, became increasingly strained due to his cocaine addiction. So what Tommy did was he actually got Ken into a rehab center at the Fort Carson Medical Center in San Andreas. And although Ken completed his rehab and got clean of his addiction, Tommy refuses to speak to him, and following this instance, he essentially cuts all ties with Ken. So it definitely seems as if Tommy is a no BS kind of guy now and isn't going to be putting up with anything like this. Now, it's funny because Tommy is also mentioned in the mission The Meat Business in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where Carl Johnson or CJ asks, who the F is Tommy, when Ken Rosenberg accidentally calls him Vercetti in the middle of the mission. It's kind of one of those funny moments, but it kind of points to the fact that that's the last real time that Tommy Vercetti was mentioned in a GTA game. But also, Ken Rosenberg has kind of gone completely bonkers and is calling CJ Tommy. Now, also during one of the San Andreas introduction videos, you can hear Ken Rosenberg trying to call Tommy Vercetti using a payphone in San Andreas, and instead of getting Tommy Vercetti, he actually gets his secretary. So you might not think much of this, but you figure if Tommy Vercetti now has a secretary, you'd think he's doing pretty well for himself. If he was just, running and gunning and doing like his regular slinging stuff like that, you wouldn't think he would have a secretary. So it definitely looks as if Tommy is now the leader of the Vercetti crime family that is certainly based out of Vice City. That is definitely one of the possibilities of where I see Tommy and where his life is right now. The events of Vice City really set Tommy up for an awesome life where he can just take over and completely control Vice City and essentially do whatever he wants, as he's now the leader of that town. So that's one of my estimations and guesses as to where he ultimately is right now, is that he's still in Vice City, living it up as this kingpin and this criminal mastermind that now has his own kind of gang. And that actually could be pretty cool. And that would obviously be one reason why we don't see him in GTA 5, is because he's on the other side of the country in Vice City. Now, another possibility is that Tommy could have moved back to Liberty City. You guys know that he was brought from Liberty City by Sonny Forelli when they were trying to get a stake in Vice City's drug enterprise. So the only reason he came to Vice City was because of work. And it kind of seems as if he might want to go back to Liberty City, where he was born, where he was from, and likely where some of his family is. Now, it's also indicated by some in-game audio that Tommy might have wanted to mend the relationship with his parents. So earlier in his life, Tommy had planned to follow in his father's footsteps, but in his own words, led a different life. And dialogue spoken by Tommy while fleeing police indicates that he had a bad relationship with his mother. Now, it's unlikely that his parents would still be alive just based on his age, but on the off chance they still were, he might have moved back to Liberty City to try and clear up anything that he might have missed with them. Now, let's move on to the last few references of Tommy Vercetti. The first of which is actually on a Grand Theft Auto fan site called Kent Paul's 80s Nostalgia Zone. So on Kent Paul's website, which I'll leave a link to in the description, it's a real website you can go to. You want to go to the list of social problems, and at the very bottom, there's writing that says, "See, Tom, I didn't mention your name nowhere. Maybe you won't get us killed now, okay?" So that's interesting. That is clearly a note and a message to Tommy Vercetti from Kent Paul, and it seems as if in that writing, Tommy Vercetti is pretty powerful if he's saying he didn't mention his name anywhere, which obviously means that he's wanted by many others, but this also could mean that Tommy is still alive and in power during the early 2000s, as this website, I believe, was created in 2002 or last updated in 2004. So at a minimum, it looks as if we know Tommy is alive during the early 2000s, but what about after that? Is there a chance that he is dead? So in Grand Theft Auto 4, there is graffiti found on the map with Tommy's name along with the other 3D Universe protagonists that states they're all dead. So you can see Rip Claude, Rip Tony. You can also see a couple other names on there. However, Rockstar Games have actually come out and said that that was a little joke for the fans of the series and that it shouldn't be probably taken seriously. So maybe that actually isn't true and that Tommy isn't dead. So that's actually pretty cool, and it does look as if all signs are pointing to the fact that Tommy Vercetti is indeed alive and well, and even though he's likely a super old man right now, probably just sitting on his rocking chair in his mansion in Vice City, it is cool to know that he's most likely alive and that he is still up and running and, you know, basically just dominating the drug trade in Vice City. And I'm trying to think of some other scenarios for Tommy here that might make sense. We know in the early 1970s, Sonny Forelli actually hit a hit squad on him where he sent 11 hitmen to actually kill him. So Tommy obviously killed all of them, but he was sent to jail for a long time. So I wonder if he would attempt to get revenge in some way, shape, or form. Although it kind of seems as if with the events of Vice City, that book was closed. So my best guess is that he's just being a old man crime boss in Vice City and has no reason to go all the way cross country to Los Santos. The only way I would see it is if he was like checking in on Ken Rosenberg in San Andreas. But even then, that seems very unlikely, as he's probably a very powerful man that doesn't have interest in going there himself. So we can pretty much rule out unfinished business. It doesn't seem like Tommy. So that pretty much closes all the doors unless there was to be something that happened that we didn't know. Like Tommy has a son or something like that that is continuing his business ventures in Los Santos. And that's another thing. Rockstar haven't mentioned, other than just debunking that little joke, what has happened to Tommy Vercetti or really any of the other 3D characters. So they've kind of left it open to our imagination here and haven't given us any concrete concrete facts as to where they possibly might have gone in the world or what they possibly are doing after their game. And I think that's just really what it's going to be. Going to be up to our imaginations, but it is looking likely that he's probably just alive and enjoying retirement. But anyways, that's really all the information I have to share with you guys today. Why Tommy Vercetti isn't in Grand Theft Auto 5. Is he dead or alive? Where is he now? And what happened after the events of Vice City? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more on this in the comment section down below. I'm pretty interested to hear from you guys there. If you did go on to enjoy the video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.